Handbrake's a bit slack. Bit of a slack fucker. But that's why I leave it in gear whenever I park up. The joy of having old cars, having had old cars that are knackered. You get used to doing a load of shit that most people don't bother their ass with. Don't bother their ass. Like me, I don't bother my ass. But the thing is, and apologies if I have uploaded this, if I have shared this story, I've committed it to video, but I don't know if I can't find if I've shared. Anyway, people at work. People's idea of what they're worth. People's idea of what should be available to them and what they deserve is very often far removed from other things, far removed from reality. So, a couple of Nory's from years past, people that I've spoken to directly, and they've told me this, and then things that I've actually seen with my own mince pies. For those living outside the UK, that's eyes. Mince pies rhymes with eyes. Your eyes. Years ago now, fucking hell, I did some work through a work agency, and I had a fork truck licence. It was only an in-house fork truck licence from one of my previous employers, but it enabled me to use the fork truck of this particular employer. And if they had two sites, I only ever worked at one site, but if it ever happened that I were at the other site and they needed me to be on forks, I could do it there. So all's well. Now, so the upshot of me having this fork truck licence, when I was laid off. I was laid off, but subsequently I took voluntary redundancy. I asked my employer, I said, look, it was obvious they were shutting down the part of the business where I worked. And when you're laid off, you're still employed by your employer. So you can't go and get another. Well, if you do go and get another job, you're in violation of your employment and blah blah blah. You can't sign on, bada. So I weren't going to go back to work. I weren't going back to work. Reality of it is they closed the place, right? So I said to him, I don't know if my employer actually said, is there anybody who wants to take voluntary redundancy? But there was another guy, one of the actual unit bench joint. At this point, I just want hangers on me. I just want skivvies. And this other guy, well, I can't live in limbo. I need to go get another job, and to do that, I need to leave here. Can I take voluntary redundancy? And employer was certainly. So I was like, do you mind if I, how much am I going to get paid if I take voluntary redundancy? And it was a month's pay. I'm like, yes please, all day long, I can do that. And bloody well get myself another job. No worries, thanks a lot. And I did, so I got myself another job, initially through a work agency. It was a couple of days work, several days work, operating a fork truck at this place. And whilst working at this place, operating a fork truck, I was speaking with the other guys who worked there. They were employees, and this fellow were telling me, one of the guys, he'd been in army. I think he'd been in parachute regiment. Okay, no. He'd been in an infantry unit anyway. So he was somebody who weren't afraid of a bit of graft. And he was telling me he had a few little bits and bats of jobs prior to going in army. And so this was back in day. He were at least my age. And he had this little job. He were just when he were doing this little job prior to going in army, he was just a skivvy. He were a driver's mate, you could maybe call. You know, maybe if his job had a title, it was driver's mate, and he'd go around delivering them to places. And this is how long ago it was. They did a couple of the deliveries would be to coal mines. That far back, when there were coal mines in country. And he said, and this was the miners' strike of the mid-80s, right? 83, 4 or 5, I forget. So it may well have been after that. But anyway, so he's telling me this day, and he said, oh, yeah. We were delivering to this particular mine. You go to pit. You go into buildings, and there's like stores. So they turned up at stores with this stuff. And there were these 3 guys sat outside stores. Maybe they were on the break, I don't know. And they were like, oh yeah, have you got... They introduced themselves. Oh, we brought this stuff for you, whatever. And these 3 went up, oh yeah, just leave it there. Great. And this fella's telling me this. He's saying, I looked at these 3 blokes just sat on their ass, not even bothering, not even concerning themselves whether somebody's brought something. While they're here and they're giving it me, I'll check what it is and how much there is of it, and does it match up with some sort of a delivery, and is it right? No. Oh yeah, just put it there. He was telling me, he said, basically he was sharing with me evidence that he had to show that he was in no way surprised when that entire industry was shut down. Yeah. The tiny little part of it that he'd seen didn't sell it to him. He was like, ooh, yeah. There's a lot of people here being paid to well, we're just paying them. We're not getting out of them. Their employer's not getting a great deal of return out of these folk here, sat outside stores. Anyway. So my own experience that ties in with this. Oh yeah, but yeah.